Today we're going to make an old-fashioned bread pudding. It is one of my husband's favorite desserts, and I'm going to use a French bread that I made the other day. Make sure to look for that French bread video in my YouTube video list. Okay, let's get started. The ingredients you will need for this recipe is 6 slices of a nice thick bread, 3 tablespoons of butter, 4 eggs, 2 cups milk, 3/4 cup sugar, a teaspoon vanilla, and a teaspoon of cinnamon. The recipe has an option of either a brown sugar sauce or a vanilla sauce, and I usually make the vanilla sauce. For the vanilla sauce, you'll need a 1/2 cup of milk, 3/4 cup heavy cream, a 1/2 cup of sugar, a 1/4 cup of butter, a tablespoon of cornstarch, 2 tablespoons of water, 1 tablespoon vanilla, a 1/2 teaspoon salt, and that is everything for that. Okay, all right. You want to butter your baking dish with about a tablespoon of butter. You want to use about an 8-inch square baking dish, and you want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Once your baking dish is buttered and your oven is preheated, you want to cube your bread and place it in your baking dish, and then take 2 tablespoons of butter and drizzle it over the top. Now set this aside, and then I'm going to crack my eggs. Okay, I'm going to whisk them really quickly with a fork. And then I'm going to add 2 cups of milk. And 3/4 cup of sugar. One teaspoon of cinnamon. And 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And then whisk that all together. And I'm just using a fork. You can use wire whisk or a wooden spoon or whatever works best for you. Once that's all mixed together well, you then want to pour it over your bread. So give me just a second. Move this back over here. And you want to be real careful to coat each and every piece of bread. And get it nice and saturated. Perfect. We are going to bake that for 45 minutes in a 350 degree preheated oven. So partway through the cooking time for the bread pudding, you want to get started on the vanilla sauce if you're making a vanilla sauce. If you decide to do the brown sugar sauce, then that goes to, it comes together quite a bit quicker, so you don't have to do that until like 10 minutes before the bread pudding is done. But if you're doing vanilla sauce, you definitely want to do it like 15 or 20 minutes before your bread pudding comes out. The first thing you want to add to a heavy saucepan would be your sugar. So you want to go with a half a cup of sugar, a quarter cup of butter, 3/4 cup of heavy cream, a half cup of milk. In a separate bowl, you want to mix together water, your 2 tablespoons of water, and your 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. Half a teaspoon of salt. You want to place your milk, cream, butter, sugar mixture in the saucepan on a burner over medium heat and stir until the butter is melted. Once the butter is melted, you want to add the cornstarch water mixture. This will begin to thicken. Turn this down. And then you want to add your vanilla. About a tablespoon of vanilla. Once it starts to thicken, you can remove it from the heat. We're just about there. This took about 7 minutes. So now we have a nice vanilla sauce. We can remove it from the heat. Once the bread pudding comes out of the oven, you can pour the vanilla sauce directly on it and then let it cool with the vanilla sauce. Okay, and then you just let it sit and cool. That's it. It was that easy. If you like that recipe, please like and subscribe and leave a comment what you thought of it. And if you have any requests on recipes you'd like to see me make, put that down in the comments below. Thank you. You have a great day.